One of my favorite color combinations, at least for the TMP show, is gray and orange. Just like this patch, the rocket assisted shark. There's the pissed off owl, still available at Nutnfancy Big Cartel. Gray and orange though, check it out. By chance, I'm wearing it tonight with my watch. Yes, it is a knife review, but we talk about all kinds of man gear here. That is the most excellent Casio Gravity Master in orange, previously reviewed. Got a double keeper on it. What a cool watch. Oh, I gotta remind you of how cool this lume is, dudes. Sorry, yeah, we'll get to it eventually, but check this out. Oh, that's psychedelic, bro. That is freaking psychedelic. You should buy this watch just to play with the lume. Look at the seconds hand. It's like nuclear tipped. So insane. And then it's contrasting against my gray sweatshirt. That's the gray and orange, I guess. I didn't plan it, just it was there. So excellent watch combination, patch combination, and this knife is so excellent. Just go buy it. The CRKT Homefront is such a great design by Ken Onion. It really is. I meant to review this like a year ago. It has been on the list. And so it's just taken me a while. I mean, I really have few TMPers who watch the knife vids. I really do. So I guess we're all lucky the knife show is still cranking along, wheezing along here in TMP. Year 11 officially. Yeah, so here it is. This knife is so sick. This is model number K270GKP if you care. And it's just excellent. It really is. There are some other variations. There's a Homefront EDC. It's a K251. It has a little bit smaller blade, 3.5 inches, and it's 4.3 ounces. This one is kind of the full size, 4.8 ounces, 3.5 inch blade on this version of the Homefront. You have the Homefront Tactical, that's K260 at 4.3 ounces, same weight as the EDC, and 3.4 inch blade. By the way, the Homefront Tactical does have a Tanto blade, I think. The prices will range, and I want to ballpark these, $70 for this one. The EDC will be about $45, $42. Same for the Homefront Tactical, and there may be some other variations that I don't know about, or I just not covered in this video. But they're awesome. They're awesome. And let's just pretend for a moment, shall we, that the knife does not field strip so readily. I think most of you guys know, and I left a sticker on that for that reason, that this is a field strippable knife. One of the first that we are aware of. And I don't know why it's taken the industry so long to come up with such a technology, but here it is coming out of CRKT. And I will say this, I'm so stoked to see CRKT coming out with this knife, because I haven't done a ton of CRKT videos, knife reviews, because I said it before, there's just a lot of knives that I think they've rehashed and used. They're excellent knives, but not a lot of new blood. I mean, here's my mini M16 EDC. It's a great blade. I re-edged it, and they've done all kinds of variations of the M16, the Kit Carson M16. Cool knife, but, you know, we kind of want some fresh blood. Here it is. The Homefront series. It's freaking awesome. Awesome. And like I said, let's just pretend for a second it does not take down. Okay, in that regard, even if it didn't take down, I would still like this knife. Now, Ken Onion, when he designed this, he talks about its vintage roots, that he wanted kind of a World War II looking blade. Maybe that's why I like it so much, because I like blades like that. I like the blade shapes. I think they're proven, and just because they're old does not mean they're not functional. So they are balanced with both first and second cool, says me. Looking at the blade on the Homefront, I mean, that is a very functional modified drop point. Again, this version, satin finished. AUS 8 steel, by the way, 3.5 inches. That is a cool blade. And I like the fuller on it too. It's just cool. It looks great. There's your branding on the blade. Let me see if this will focus. It's a good looking blade, good belly, out of box. wicked sharp. Excellent job on this, by the way, and I always say this, product of Taiwan. So I talk about that. I mean, most of the knives being produced are coming out of Taiwan or China, and they're marketed by the company. That's just how they keep costs down, and the quality is very high. The Chinese and Taiwanese and Japanese manufacturers for years have been cranking out some amazing knives under whatever logo you want. Spyderco, CRKT, Kershaw, doesn't matter. They're good blades. The blade is perfect. It's got a reverse curve, reverse belly. The thickness is adequate. It's a relatively thick bladed EDC knife. If you're going to put it in that POU, I would actually classify this also, this version, as a tactical blade, emergency defensive tool. Unsharpened swedge coming down there on the modified drop point again. I wouldn't say this is a real pierce cutter. I think it's more of a slicer for, you know, EDC tasks like food preparation, stuff we do all the time with our knives, cutting rugs, opening boxes. Love the knife. Love it, love it, love it. Love the blade. And it is a flipper design. We will get to the field strip, but we're just pretending it doesn't take down for now, which is a more interesting review, I think. So let's look at the speed. A little bit stiff on that one. I'll try it again. A little bit of a wrist flip. This will loosen up the more you use it, and I'm not worried about that at all. If you don't like it, you can mess around with a pivot point right there. It is single-sided with kind of, again, a World War II insignia throwback with a star on the opposite side. That against the olive drab 6061 aluminum handle, it just creates a really cool looking knife. Like I said, it's balanced with first cool and second cool. I love the color. This is my top recommended Homefront, the standard one, the first one that came out. Now, there might be some even cooler versions that come out, again, that I'm not aware of, but for now, this is super excellent. Look at the internals to see. There is no stop pin. There doesn't need to be because of the groove inside there. Lockup is super solid and tight. Now, as you take it apart and use it a lot and put some abuse on it, will it loosen up? I don't know. Go ask the owl. There's centering. Retention. Pretty good, dude. So your flipper design too is non-obnoxious. How excellent is that? So many times I've brought like some Kershaws to the table. Maybe some zero tolerance. They're good knives, but they have this real sharp transition that just digs into your thumb. Me, I would just mill it out with a Dremel. You won't have to do that with this ring flipper. Cool looking knife. Kind of also, I think this aesthetic here is kind of a World War II throwback. There were some knives that featured that look. Looking at the handle set, again, aluminum. No stainless steel liners. It is not a super light knife. 4.8 ounces, I think I said that. Aluminum backspacer here, and there's your takedown spinning wheel. Man, is that cool. We're going to look at that, how it works here in a second. Not really any traction to speak of on the side. You might want to put some skateboard tape on it. I do that pretty much routinely on my knives. Well, here's one right here. Here's a SOG Zoom. This is a perfect example. So I'll just put a patch here. So if I come in the pocket, I get traction with my thumb, and out comes a knife. Very important because the clip on this is perfection. It is a deep carry clip on the K270 CRKT Homefront. Blackened. Thank you, Ken Onion. Thank you, CRKT. Thematically, it's perfect. It can accommodate thick, I shouldn't say thick, but thicker tactical pants. I like that, and it's deep carry, bro. Love that. No lanyard hole, though, so if that makes you sad, you might want to look elsewhere. I'm looking at the camera right now, and it's really not capturing the color adequately. Let me put some white paper, a shot up target in front of it. Maybe it will sync it up a little bit better. This is actually, that's a little bit better. It did good there. So it's more of a kind of a tannish olive color on the Homefront. Look at the milling too. So there's no hot spots around here. Just a good looking knife. And the carry position. Thin too. It's not that thick of a blade. Okay, so on to the cool feature. I think we've established even without the takedown function of the Homefront, it's pretty awesome, right? But here it becomes more awesome. We flip the takedown lever, and that loosens the scale. And then we're going to spin this rear takedown wheel, and it will loosen, not detach, the handle scale right here. And then we'll just pop this up. I do find this one sticks a bit. There we go. Out comes the blade, and this is why I say we do not need a stop pin. You see the semicircular groove cut in there that rides in that. I guess you could call this the stop pin here. And then we have some nylon bushings here for smoothness. Captured liner lock here. Such an elegant design, Ken. You did such a good job with this. Just super excellent. I'm just so impressed with this design. Here's the thing about truly awesome design is it's elegant. It's simple. There's not a bunch of extraneous crap. And when you break open the Homefront, it is so simple and clean and high quality. I'm just so impressed with it. And then you can see the whole function of the blade here. It's just a fun toy knife. Knife to play around with. Pro tip from Nutnfancy though, be careful when you take it apart, because this blade can pop out and you have this relatively sharp blade spinning around. It could cut something. Just saying. There's your detent there in the liner lock. And then we'll take a look at this side here, this handle scale. Check out the instructions on this side. That is so cool. Tells you how to take it apart and put it back together. I didn't even read that. I just played with it for like, I don't know, 60 seconds and I figured it out. I knew the lever had to be flipped. But then I was like, I had to like play around with this thing back here. Now I'm tightening the handle scale again. See how that draws that? Actually, I'm turning it the wrong way. Sorry. Here we go. See how that draws that in? And by the way, you want that pretty snug. And then you'll just flip this again. Don't think that this has anything to do with pivot tension. It doesn't. This does a pivot tension, from what I know now. That's what does it. And then the knife's back together. Boom. So simple. So excellent. This is perhaps my favorite CRKT design in recent memory. For sure. It's so cool. Now the EDC one will be also super excellent. That one's going to be smaller, lighter, 4.3 ounces. So just slightly lighter, not really. Now, don't forget the other variations, the EDC, the tactical, and perhaps some more that will come out. Bounce around, pick your favorite flavor. I'll put some links below. Please use those because it supports what I'm doing here. I get like 2 cents per click, I guess. At least in Amazon. Yeah, I may put a BHQ link down there too. Give you a couple options. Go wherever you like and just buy it. It's totally recommended. And now we get to a very fun part, competitive options. What would I buy instead, or that would offer the same utility as the Homefront? Well, nothing really, because if you need the takedown capabilities of this knife, I don't know of any. I mean, and this is a philosophy of use I'm so glad I remembered. Hunting blade. I've said that in some past videos. And I've used blades to dress big game, and let me tell you, it is a mess, especially with a folding knife. I've done it with a buck 110, and you get guts and everything inside the knife, and it dries. It's very hard to get out. Sometimes it's permanently in there, because by the time you hike home, and yes, I backpack hunt, or at least I did, everything's dried on, caked on, it's there forever, unless you soak the blade. But if it's wood handled like a buck knife, you don't want to do that. I used an Explorer blade long time ago growing up. This is a blade where you don't mind if it gets, bloody and stuff, and you can just clean it out. Take it apart and clean it out. You dunk it in salt water, easy to service. There's no crevices except perhaps under the captured liner lock, which, by the way, here's your timing on that. Under there, I would just rinse it, some hot water. Competitive options, though. Not having the takedown feature, but equally as cool, is the 1870, I think I'm getting that name right, Knockout NOD. That's a Kershaw blade. This one's made in the U.S., though. It's not an overseas produced knife. So if you love U.S. produced, dude, the Knockout. This is one of my all-time favorite Kershaws all day long. Look at that lock bar on there. Handle set is super cool. Deep carry clip. Still has a OD. Let's look at the different color variation. See how this is more tan? I love them both. They're both cool. I reviewed this about, I don't know, 4 years ago. Knockout. It's super excellent. Dual thumb studs. Not a flipper design. Assisted opening the Knockout. That might be an option. Here's an old school CRKT design, the Shenanigan. I think that's the name of this. It's been so long. I don't carry this. It's just a cast member. Another Kin Onion design. Do they even make this anymore? I think it's been discontinued. But what a great knife. I mean, this is an aluminum handle scale, organic design, like Kin Onion sometimes does. The Goofy clip, Wizard of Oz clip, I can do without, as I can the tip down carry. And it had traction inserts in the handle. Gray anodized aluminum handle set. It's just a cool knife, though. I mean, just something. A little bit something. And then let's see what else I got. Oh, how about, and I showed you the skateboard tape on this one. The assisted opening, wicked fast, almost automatic like SOG zoom, large size with really excellent jimping. Reverse curb, hollow ground, cryogenically treated osate steel. This is going to be a little bit lighter than the Homefront. There you go, a couple competitive options. But you know, just to make the video a little bit funner, I throw those in. But I would buy the Homefront without hesitation if you need such a blade. As an EDC blade, I might go with the slightly lighter, slightly smaller designs. The only thing I could possibly level against this knife that is not super excellent is, you guessed it, there's no jimping on the blade. There's an attempt on the handle set, but it doesn't do much. And also, it cannot deploy from the pocket. You know, it's, well, I guess you could figure out a way, but, you know, conventionally speaking, no. As opposed to something like a Spyderco with a Spidey hole in it. This is, I think, a Cali 3.5 that I have here, waiting for another review. But highly recommended, the Homefront Home Run for Columbia River Knife and Tool. Nutnfancy.